Hi, my name is Lauren Conkar, and welcome to Group 4's project on the importance of the analysis of fentanyl, fentanyl analogs, and monitoring for fentanyl adulterants to differentiate street and prescribed fentanyl at forensic toxicology laboratories. This project is aimed at providing the importance of conducting toxicological analysis of fentanyl and other fentanyl analogs to differentiate between prescribed and illicit fentanyl use in forensic cases. Instruments known as the liquid chromatography time of flight and liquid chromatography mass spectrometry offer the best solution when conducting the analysis of fentanyl. A drug monitoring program can be conducted to ensure that there is a need to expand the scope for testing newly emerging and potent drugs. Expanding the scope of testing newly emerging and potent drugs will aid in determining the prevalence of these drugs in specific areas and among various demographics. Epidemiological data gathered from this will allow for taking preventative actions in slowing the emergence of illicit fentanyl and fentanyl analogs. Fentanyl and other fentanyl analogs made their way into the illegal drug market in 2013. Since then, toxicological deaths involving fentanyl overdose have been on a sharp rise. The Center for Disease Control, or CDC, reports that in 2023, 70% of U.S. overdose deaths involved illegally manufactured fentanyl. The CDC also reports that in the Northeast, Midwest, and South, overdose deaths involving illicit fentanyl use remained at a steady 70 to 80%, but the West saw an increase from 48.5 to 66%. It is crucial for forensic toxicology laboratories that drug trends are monitored in the U.S. so they can ensure that they have the appropriate testing capabilities to test for fentanyl and fentanyl analogs. In the image below, primary fentanyl analogs are listed with the percentage of how much were in the federal system at that time. It is important that these statistics stay up to date for the forensic toxicology laboratories' drug monitoring programs. Monitoring for adulterants as well as fentanyl analogs is what will differentiate between illicit and prescribed fentanyl, since it is impossible to differentiate between the two by themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Diki Kelsing Yangser. I'm in Group 4 and I'll be presenting part of the figures and results portion of our poster on importance of the analysis of fentanyl, fentanyl analogs, and monitoring for fentanyl adulterants to differentiate street and prescribed fentanyl at forensic toxicology laboratories. The figures and results section will discuss why it is important to have a broad screening methodology to screen and monitor for emerging fentanyl and fentanyl analogs as well as adulterants used in illicit manufacturing of fentanyl-like products, and developing a more targeted method for quantitative analysis of commonly seen analytes in respective part of the U.S. where forensic laboratories are located. Drug seizure data, as shown in Figure 2 from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, shows the rise in illegal fentanyl supplies. Data from CDC has also shown that nearly 7 out of 10 overdose deaths in 2023 are attributed to synthetic opiates other than methadone, principally to fentanyl or fentanyl analogs. The capability to monitor for emerging as well as existing fentanyl, various fentanyl analogs, as well as adulterants such as xylazine and metamidine at forensic toxicology laboratories is a critical step in being able to identify these various drugs. Forensic toxicology laboratories throughout the United States generally work with the local or state law enforcement agencies and the medical examiner's office. Being able to identify fentanyl analogs, and adulterants can help provide useful information on how these drugs may have been procured. It can also help to determine potential impairment in DUI cases for law enforcement, as well as provide valuable information in cause of death determination for medical examiner's office. Fentanyl is a highly potent narcotic analgesic, and fentanyl analogs can be just as potent, if not more so, and as such, being able to not only screen but also quantify fentanyl analogs, as well as adulterants used in production of illicit fentanyl, is necessary. For example, sufentanil, a fentanyl analog, is 5 to 10 times more potent than fentanyl, and carfentanil, another fentanyl analog is 100 times more potent than fentanyl. Being able to quantitatively report these analyses will allow the medical examiner to determine the degree to which these drugs contributed to the cause of death. Being able to screen and quantify adulterants such as xylazine allows us to differentiate between street versus prescribed fentanyl. While there's no way to determine if the source of a positive fentanyl in a case sample is from illicit or prescribed medicine, presence of certain adulterants such as xylazine can prove helpful in these types of determinations. While there are various methods to conduct analysis of fentanyl, fentanyl analogs, and adulterants in forensic toxicology laboratories, it is important to use a method that would allow for the laboratory to be able to at least have the capability of being able to screen for majority of the fentanyl analogs and adulterants, and being able to develop quantification methods based on the findings from the screen results. While use of immunoassay can provide a way to test for fentanyl and fentanyl analogs, it can have limitation in sensitivity and specificity. The use of liquid chromatography, quadruple time of flight, known in short as LC-Q-TOF, allows us to identify fentanyl, its metabolites, and fentanyl analogs specifically and provides greater sensitivity than an immunoassay-based method. Having a good drug extraction method for different matrices such as whole blood, plasma, and urine is critical. Each requires different cleanup processes. Figure 3 shows an extraction method using a supported liquid extraction method to separate the drug of interest from the plasma and placing it in a solution that is suitable for analysis on the LC-Q-TOF. This method that is developed at the CDC laboratories is being able to screen and identify 174 fentanyl-related compounds. The extraction method for other matrices such as whole blood, which is generally what is submitted to forensic toxicology laboratories from the Office of Medical Examiner's Office, may require other protocols for separating the drug of interest, such as solid phase extractions. The ability to obtain fentanyl analog screening kits from drug standard manufacturing companies, such as Cayman Chemical, allows for a more centralized location to obtain most of the analytes from a single location. Most forensic laboratories in the United States are governmentally funded, and as such, funding and resources are limited. By focusing on having a comprehensive drug monitoring program that allows for screening of fentanyl and most of the fentanyl analogs, as well as adulterants, helps us focus our efforts on the type of confirmation and quantitative analysis that laboratories should focus on. While these capabilities may be more limited for some laboratories than others, it at least provides the customers such as law enforcement and medical examiner's office to conduct further analysis at a reference testing laboratory. It also provides the laboratory information on whether future testing resources need to be addressed to expand on their quantitative or confirmation capabilities.
Hi everyone, my name is Stella Koloff and I will be discussing fentanyl testing strips, which, in addition to the methods discussed by Deaky, can be used to detect the presence of fentanyl. Fentanyl testing strips, also known by the abbreviation FTS, are lateral flow chromatographic strips that, when placed in a solution of water containing a drug, will display pink lines indicating a positive or negative result. In a study done by Park et al. Titled Validation of a Lateral Flow Chromatographic Immunoassay for the Detection of Fentanyl in Drug Samples, fentanyl testing strips were able to detect the presence of fentanyl in cocaine and opioids at a high level of sensitivity, and they were able to detect 13 analogs of fentanyl. More specifically, the strip showed a 98% rate of sensitivity and specificity. This study also mentions that unintentional injuries were the fourth leading cause of death in the United States during 2021, with 66% of these deaths involving illicit fentanyl. Because fentanyl testing strips are quick, simple, easy to use, and easy to get, they are a great harm reduction tool for individuals who plan on using substances, which can help prevent the amount of lethal overdoses caused by illicit fentanyl. Additionally, fentanyl testing strips can be a valuable tool for law enforcement officers and crime scene investigators who are processing scenes involving unknown substances. While fentanyl testing strips can't quantify the amount of fentanyl or its analogs, they can help to guide investigators and prompt the appropriate solutions. Using fentanyl testing strips at scenes can also allow investigators to determine if further analysis of the sample is necessary in order to differentiate between street and prescribed fentanyl.
Hello, my name is Allison Henry, and I will be summarizing our research on the toxicological analysis of fentanyl, the norfentanyl, and other fentanyl analogs in forensic cases. As illicit fentanyl use continues to rise, forensic toxicology laboratories play a crucial role in distinguishing between prescribed and illicit fentanyl. Advanced analytical methods, drug monitoring programs, and continuous research are essential for staying ahead of new synthetic drugs and their deadly impacts. I will be discussing key findings from our research, conclusion, and the direction of future research. So for our conclusion, the increasing presence of illicit fentanyl and its analogs present a growing challenge for forensic toxicology. Routine toxicological screening is unfortunately no longer enough. So comprehensive confirmatory testing is essential to accurately determine whether fentanyl use was prescription-based or illicit. The presence of adulterants like xylazine, which is not responsive to naloxone, adds another layer of complexity to overdose investigations. And this reinforces the need for forensic laboratories to continuously refine their methodologies to detect emerging synthetic opioids and their dangerous additives. By monitoring fentanyl trends through agencies like the CDC, DEA, and U.S. Customs and Border Control, laboratories can better understand the scope of crisis and adjust their testing strategies accordingly. The combination of drug trend monitoring and high precision analytical techniques ensures forensic scientists are equipped to provide accurate and meaningful toxicological interpretations. As far as future research goes, as illicit fentanyl continues to evolve, research must keep pace. A key focus should be on developing detection methods capable of identifying a broader range of fentanyl analogs, even at lower concentrations. Many of these analogs are structurally modified to evade current testing protocols, making it essential to expand forensic screening capabilities. Additionally, studies on how these compounds metabolize in the body will definitely improve our understanding of their potency, their toxicity, and their interactions with other substances. Another area for improvement is enhancing rapid on-site detection tools. While fentanyl test strips are widely used, they do have limitations in identifying all fentanyl analogs. So future advancements in portable high sensitivity testing devices could provide first responders and even forensic teams with more immediate and reliable results, improving both public health and criminal investigations. Ultimately, forensic science must remain adaptable by staying ahead of emerging drug trends, refining analytical methodologies, and expanding research into fentanyl analogs and adulterants. We can improve forensic accuracy to aid in overdose protection and provide critical insights. And lastly, we have our bibliography, which includes all of our science sources that we use throughout the e-poster. Thank you.